Hi, I'm Peter Jones, Chartered Surveyor, author and property investor, and I thought I'd do a very quick video about buy-to-let. Yes, buy-to-let. Now, buy-to-let's been around for about 20 odd years now. The interesting thing is though, the number of people, particularly people who want to get into property who aren't yet in property, who are talking as if buy-to-let's completely finished. Why? Well, because the government, through the Osborne tax changes, look as if they're trying to discourage buy-to-let. Some people are even describing that as kind of like an all-out attack on landlords. Not quite so sure it is, and things seem to have sort of calmed down a little bit over the last few months, particularly since George Osborne went and Philip Hammond's come in as Chancellor. Maybe things will change, maybe things will just mellow a bit. But the reality is this: as an existing buy-to-let investor, I actually find that quite encouraging, because it seems to me that the idea that buy-to-let is under attack from the government is keeping some people out of buy-to-let. Now, yeah, okay, I don't want to be mean about this, there's plenty for everybody, but it's certainly true that if there's less competition, it's going to be easier to find the deals, for example. But I just wanted to challenge the idea that buy-to-let's finished anyway. The reality is that there are usually ways and means that property investors, particularly if you try and take on a professional mindset, can find your way around problems like that. And of course, a lot of people are trying to get around the Osborne tax changes. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. There's lots of really good articles all about the tax changes that are coming on how you can offset or not offset interest on your mortgages. But it almost seems like the idea is that it doesn't really work, but people are getting around it by, for example, buying properties through a limited company because the same rules don't apply. And it's very easy to set up a limited company to invest in. So, for example, you can go onto the internet right now when you finish watching this and you could buy a limited company for about 20 quid. Now, the big concern that a lot of people have is, well, if I buy a brand new company, that company won't have been trading, it won't be able to show any income. It doesn't matter because, for example, buy-to-let lenders won't be looking at the company, they'll be looking at you as the owner of the company, as the director of the company. And sure, yes, you'll have to give directors guarantees. The reality is, though, that if you're buying the property in your own name, you're essentially guaranteeing it anyway, so there's no difference, really. Doesn't make any difference at all. It's just an extra piece of paper to sign, whether you've got the guarantee in place because you're buying through a limited company or whether you're buying in your own name. The responsibility still falls upon you to make sure that the mortgage is paid. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a bit of a sort of a red herring. It doesn't really make any difference. So the reality is actually just as easy now, particularly when you think there's lots of buy-to-let companies who are now gearing up, lots of buy-to-let lenders who are gearing up to actually lend to limited companies. Far more products becoming available and will become available over the next year or so. So I think it's a great time still to be in buy-to-let. Thing is though, a lot of our competition is disappearing because they're either not buying properties or they're deciding to follow another strategy.